I actually I have a background in accounting and finance. I worked in the private sector for 15 years for some international accounting firms. I then later was fortunate enough to get employment with a regional wastewater treatment authority on the North Shore, and I worked there as a director of finance for 13 years, and I'm currently the director of finance for the Norfolk Sheriff's Office. Any candidate, I think, to be successful has to articulate their unique value proposition. Their unique value proposition. I think that mine is that I've consistently fought for the interests of the very neighborhoods of Ward 6 to preserve their quality of life. I've been a city councilor for 10 years now, and by the way, you might be interested to know that I lost 3 times before I ever won. I actually used to weigh about 125 pounds. This is just the swelling from all the races that the beatings I've taken. But neighborhoods of Ward 6. I see I got 10 seconds left. Biggest achievement, I think, was probably stopping Boston's use of the North Quincy T. I also take pride in passing the first comprehensive sound ordinance that affected a lot of the noise complaints that are occurring in Marina Bay. I see that I'm out of time. I usually don't talk this long. I think John knows that.
The first question is, what do you see as the next challenge in Ward 6?
I think we have a continuing challenge in the north end of the city related to development. You know, we're so close to Boston. We're, at the foot of the Neponset Bridge. We do have a large parking lot there that the T wants to develop again. We entertained a proposal about 13 years ago. They wanted to put a megaplex movie theater there and some commercial development. I understand they're coming back to develop that lot. So I guess the challenge is controlling the development, the density that impacts our lives in every way. Traffic, noise. So I always see that as the big challenge for the north end of the city.
And the next question is, what have you been able to implement in your years on the city council?
Well, I was very successful with the comprehensive sound ordinance. I had to do it twice. The first time I came in, I couldn't get some of the votes. I brought it back in, lowered some of the decibel levels, and I was successful in creating an intensive sound district at Marina Bay. I haven't been a great legislative person. I actually think that the city council spends a lot of time in ordinance work that is really not meaningful. We've got a lot of ordinances on the books that we find hard to enforce already. I just try to do my constituent service work, and I think I do it pretty well.
Thank you. You now have 2 minutes closing.
So in 10 years, I have a track record. I can't even remember some of the things that I've done. But North Quincy, I got Boston to stop picking up and dropping off some of their program clientele at the North Quincy T-Stop. I wasn't successful in getting some of the other agencies that they rented space to, but I was successful in getting the Boston Public Health Commission from using the North Quincy T, where their clients come in contact with our students who are coming and gone. With regard to Marina Bay, I think that I've had tremendous success with advocating for proposals such as the wind turbine on Moon Island. Was able to essentially help with the community's efforts themselves to turn that back. I'm currently fighting for rebuilding of the Long Island Bridge. I've currently just asked that Boston be brought back before the Conservation Commission to articulate what their long-term goals are for the bridge, because I've been out there and I observed that they're rebuilding the piers. And I don't think that you'd be doing that if you didn't have an intention to rebuild that bridge. In North Quincy, I was successful in fighting back CMAR. It was a multi-year effort to fight the placement of that market over there behind the Lofts complex. So I think that I've fought pretty hard to preserve some of the interests of the neighborhoods of Ward 6, and I hope that when you go to the polls in November, that you remember me for my efforts. Thank you.